Over the years, there have been a lot of misconceptions over why Goku decided on giving up against Perfect Cell so he could have Gohan fight in his place during the Cell games. In today's discussion, I want to try and clear a few things up so people can truly understand why Goku gave up his fight against the Bio Android. Throughout the entirety of the Dragon Ball franchise, Goku has been widely regarded as someone who actively seeks out a good fight, constantly trying to improve himself as a martial artist and see where he currently stands in terms of power. Goku has always been capable of pushing past his limitations with each encounter he's had on the battlefield. No matter how much more powerful a foe is, Goku always finds a way to keep fighting and come out on top. However, despite his constant perseverance in battle, there has been one villain who has made Goku give up the fight at hand and claim defeat. That villain in question is none other than the artificial life form from the future, Cell. Over the years, I have not only seen people misinterpret why Goku gave up his fight against Perfect Cell, but I've actively heard people claim that this was an act of cowardice from Goku's part, which is absolutely not true. Goku did not throw Gohan into the fight against Cell in order to escape the battle, nor did he throw Gohan into the fight simply to be a bad father, like I see many people often bring up in their arguments. The whole senzu bean ordeal is constantly overused when it comes to this debate, but I'll touch on that later. On the other side of the spectrum, there are people who claim that Goku gave up the fight against Perfect Cell because he quote-unquote wanted to let Gohan be the hero for once, and while this is partially true, it's not why Goku gave up the fight, because he doesn't really care about all of that heroic nonsense. The reason why I say that is because people who believe that Goku gave up just to let Gohan win also believe that Goku was capable of defeating Cell but simply chose not to, and he simply stepped off to the side to let someone else save the world for once. There are even people who claim that Goku was powerful enough to tap into Super Saiyan 2 at this point, and that's the definition of headcanon. It's a cool idea, but that fight would never make it out of a what-if scenario. So, as you can see, the Dragon Ball fandom is split on the real meaning behind Goku's decision to give up, so it's finally time that I do my best to explain the real reason behind his choice. Like I was mentioning at the beginning of this discussion though, Goku has been the type of character who actively seeks out a good fight. He constantly goes out of his way to pick a fight against someone, and oftentimes creates a terrible situation, or makes a situation worse out of this desire to battle, whether it be from a selfish decision or an act of naivety. If Goku was powerful enough to keep fighting against Cell long enough to even win the battle, it would have been a no-brainer for Goku to keep doing what he loves by fighting against this warrior who also shares the same excitement for battle due to his Saiyan cells, and continue to try and push his limitations and break through them. In fact, upon their first meeting prior to his training in the hyperbolic time chamber, Goku states that he's no match for semi-perfect Cell in his current state, but without any knowledge of what's to come, Goku does have the belief that he can surpass Cell within that upcoming day of training. But the truth is, Goku was simply no match for Cell in his perfect form, even after all of the training he had done with Gohan in the hyperbolic time chamber, and even after mastering Super Saiyan to its full extent, Goku was not prepared for the amount of power Cell received upon reaching his perfect state, and even when in his full power Super Saiyan form was only capable of matching Cell, who most likely wasn't even utilizing his full power. Because of the power gap between the two, Goku was not able to finish the fight on his own, and thus he decided to quit the match after getting a taste of Cell's prowess in combat, passing the fight on to his son Gohan, much to everyone's shock. To fully understand Goku's decision, it's best to look back at the time he and Gohan spent in the hyperbolic time chamber, because upon first entrance through that door, Goku did believe that with enough time he could surpass the boundaries of the Super Saiyan transformation and defeat Cell given the knowledge he had of his semi-perfect form. Goku even goes far enough into that belief by setting Gohan's Super Saiyan transformation as their first priority in training, hoping to make Gohan the perfect sparring partner, stating that he wants Gohan to become even more powerful than him. Now, this statement could either feed into the idea that Goku knew from the very beginning that Gohan had the strength needed to defeat Cell, or he was simply wanting Gohan to be a tough opponent that could push his own personal strength to its limits. Regardless of what Goku meant by that initial statement, the time spent in the hyperbolic time chamber allowed Goku to see Gohan's quick progression into a Super Saiyan and how his strength continued to elevate into even higher levels than he had ever seen. Upon emerging from the time chamber, there was a noticeable difference in Goku's personality as he seemed even calmer and more laid back than usual, and it's not just due to his mastery of Super Saiyan. The first thing Goku does upon getting a fresh set of clothing is use instant transmission to go and check out Cell's newfound perfection to try and get a reading on just how powerful he'd become during his training session. However, upon being surprised by Cell's sudden boost in strength and even openly admitting he stands no chance against perfect Cell, Goku shrugs it off and declines heading back into the hyperbolic time chamber, instead deciding to relax the remaining few days until the Cell games began. With Goku actively knowing he stands no chance against Cell, you would think he would use every remaining second until the Cell games began to train harder than before and match Cell's power, right? That is, unless Goku was hiding something. He knew something that nobody else outside of the hyperbolic time chamber knew. He knew just how powerful Gohan could become had he lost his temper and gave in to his anger. The calm demeanor Goku displayed upon exiting from the time chamber, his quick visit to see Cell's perfect body for the first time, and him deciding to be the first contestant in the Cell games was all part of Goku's plan for Gohan to step in and win the battle. He was dipping his toes in the water to see if Gohan could handle what was to come, preparing Gohan for his upcoming battle by giving him the ability to see Cell's fighting capabilities and how he performed on the battlefield. Not only was Goku having the time of his life by fighting someone leaps and bounds stronger than he was, but he was setting Gohan up to take over the battle by giving him a visual reference on how powerful Cell was, and by giving him time to subconsciously prepare for the battle. But that was the major flaw of Goku's plan. He was so confident in Gohan's latent power being the key to Cell's defeat that the concept of telling Gohan, or any of the other Z fighters for that matter, completely slipped his mind until Gohan was already in the midst of battle. Now, I could see why Goku withheld from telling Gohan about this plan, as Gohan might have focused too hard on trying to get angry, most likely not focusing on the battle itself, leaving his guard down, so I can see Goku's thought process on leaving it up to Gohan to realize for himself that he needed to get angry. In fact, had Gohan known about his father wanting to step down so his son could take his place, he might have been reluctant about participating in the tournament at all due to fear. Throughout the fight between Goku and Cell, however, Gohan managed to keep up with the intense speed of the duel, wondering why everybody else was amazed at Goku's power, as he believed his father was holding his true strength back. When it was revealed that Goku was going full power and Gohan simply believed he was holding back due to him comparing his own superior strength to the two warriors, Gohan felt prepared to take on Cell and was motivated into believing that he could fight in his father's place. There's still more behind Goku's decision to give up against Cell though. Remember back when I said at the beginning of the discussion that it was partially true that Goku wanted Gohan to take over so he could save the world? I mentioned that it was partially true not because Goku had any heroic motives behind his decision, but because he wanted Gohan to grow stronger than he ever was. He wanted his son to experience the love of fighting that he had, and he wanted Gohan to have the same satisfaction of breaking through his limits while bringing peace back to Earth at the same time, as he wasn't going to be around forever to do it. Although there was a huge flaw in this thought process, and it was that Goku was projecting his own desires onto his son. It's not because he was a bad dad and didn't know what his son liked or anything. That's certainly not the case. Goku just simply believed that since his son had Saiyan blood within him, he shared the same love of fighting. Of course that's not the case, as Gohan is the exact opposite of his father when it comes to fighting, and Goku realizes that as soon as Piccolo spells it out to him. This is where the Senzu Bean argument always pops up, as everyone believes that Goku gives Cell the Senzu Bean just because he wasn't thinking. It's not that he wasn't thinking or that he wanted to give Gohan a hard time, he wanted to give Gohan the satisfaction of beating his opponent in a fair match, as that's something that he himself would want. Goku doesn't always make the best decisions, and this was certainly one of those moments. However, his decision to give up the fight against Cell and supply him with a Senzu Bean was not out of malicious intent, nor was it made out of stupidity or cowardice. It was a decision made by a confident father who wanted to share his satisfactions with his son by giving him the opportunity to claim victory to a fight he knew he could win. Thankfully, all of Goku's errors throughout the Cell saga came full circle and resulted in the best possible scenario for the story at hand and for stories in the future. So there we have it everyone. Hopefully this discussion gave some of you some clarity on why Goku decided on giving up against Cell, as I know some people got confused on this topic as time has moved forward. So what are your thoughts on Goku giving up against Cell? Would you have liked to see Goku keep fighting despite knowing Gohan had the power to end the battle or not? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this video, as it was really fun to make because it covers not just one of my favorite Dragon Ball fights, but because I love the Cell Games arc and the entire Cell saga in general. If you feel the same, maybe you should subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Let's try and get this video as many likes as possible, so that way every Dragon Ball fan who may be confused on Goku's decision can be well informed for the future. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and once again, remember to support my work by subscribing and sharing me out with your friends and family. I would greatly appreciate it. But until my next Dragon Ball discussion, I'll be seeing all of you later. See ya!